What's going on, everybody? And yes, that is the only way I'm going to be able to get a little theme music around here because I haven't figured out around the trademarks and stuff for the music for the podcast. But yes, it's me, Murph, from the Murph and E Dub Show, and I'm here with an announcement today. Holidays are over. You know, everybody's had to spend time with their family, and Murph and E Dub Show will be back. You know, Eric has had a lot on his plate lately. His wife Jody she had an operation, and he's playing Mr. Mom. I'm sure he's got a spatula in one hand, a duster in the other, and the vacuum on his foot. But I know I've been talking to him lately, and he's over there helping her out. And he's a good man, he dubs. And speaking about men, this is what we are going to start talking about more and more because holidays are here and gone. Great holidays. Spent it with my family. Christmas Eve, my nephew Gaetano and my sister-in-law Joey came up, and we had a nice Christmas, and we spent some time. We did a little relaxing, and New Year's was nice. New Year's, we went out to dinner every year. We do some hibachi, and we go to the same hibachi restaurant. It's Izumi over there in Wappingers. If you guys are locals, you know the place. And we had a good time. We went out with our friends, went back to another friend's house, and we rang in the New Year. It's 2024. But everybody says, get rid of 2023. I want to forge past to a better 2024. I guess that's well and good. It gives you something to look forward to. But I had an epiphany the other day and this is just me talking. And again, I'm going to make an announcement in a second that you guys are going to hopefully want to hear. And a lot of guys out there have been asking me because I think we should just take it day by day. I think I'm going to try and live the mantra now, or like a mantra that let's just live for today and we'll worry about tomorrow when it gets there. And the only thing that we could do as men, because we're going to start talking about the whole men issues and stuff like that. Not issues, just like men fun stuff and men's mental health and stuff, good or bad. I think, you just you live for today. And then, hopefully that you can get up the next day and just be better and do better than you did the day before. That may mean something to somebody else and another thing to another guy. But just listen to that for a second and just get up every morning and I want to be better than the person I was yesterday. Sounds easy. Yeah, I guess it is pretty easy. If you try to change little tiny things, that you do or that you realize about yourself that maybe hindered you from friendships or maybe, I don't know, hindered you from relationships with women as far as marriages or, kids, friends, whatever it may be. And everybody's got their own separate stuff. But you know what? Just be better than the guy you were yesterday. If you had a fight with that friend, go back and talk to him. If you're having a little family squabble, listen, you're having a family squabble, which I'm going to probably talk about a little bit right now, or maybe in a couple of minutes. It'll all get sorted out in a wash, as they say it. And let's just say, there'll be a communication, and I think that, like I said, just being the better person I was yesterday and getting closer to solving some stuff that's been going on in my family. So, we're keeping strong with that. And, I have to stop something that I found myself doing. But before I get into this, I'm going to get this quick podcast. Shootin the Breeze is coming back. Now, Shootin the Breeze was something that me and Josh started a year ago. I mean, we did a couple of really good episodes. I think me and Josh meld really well together. And we were doing Shootin the Breeze. And I don't know, we put it on a hiatus. And listen, I take full responsibility for that. I have something. Listen, I am riddled with adult ADHD, and I'm going to go over that in a couple of minutes too. And that is something that's hindered, I guess, relationships in my life. And Shootin the Breeze being one of those things that it hindered. It's like I always just thought I had so much other things going on and so much to do and so many people to please. I couldn't do one at that end, and I had to do something else. But my brain was just all I'm figuring out more about myself now. That being said, it's coming back. And Josh, I talked to him this afternoon because I didn't want to speak at a school and say that, that was coming back with Shootin the Breeze, but he's excited about it too. And I think really what this is and what it was really morphing into at the time, we had some really good interviews. We talked to a lot of really cool people. Me and Josh chopped it up about a lot of cool topics. We went up to his campsite. We had some fun for a couple hours up there. I'll start releasing some more of those videos on our page now. So Yeah, it's really what it's going to be. It's just me and Josh just talking, and we talk about a lot of heavy subjects and how we go about things. I guess in my community of friends, maybe differently than yours, but I'm finding a lot of guys who you think are these quiet guys. They also have, they have their group chats with their friends. So you realize, oh, your friends are a little crazy. But it's just kind of like, getting together, kind of like a big group chat. You know what I mean? So as far as, me and Josh talking, you're gonna hear me and Josh making fun of each other probably. You might even hear some stuff that we're talking about really deep. And I don't know, I might cut a little deeper with something. And people out there be like, what do you got? Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. But listen, Josh knows on his end that nothing's off limits when you have a friend. And we do a lot of stuff that is humorous to us. It may not be humorous to other people, but it's like joking around. It's I think that's kind of like when you have something going on in your life. And I used it my whole life. It's humor. You use humor. Everybody wants to laugh. Yeah, you have to try and laugh at a situation sometimes because your situation is your situation. There might be somebody down the road that's dealing something with a lot differently than you are, and something on that guy down the next road. But it always seems like what you're dealing with is the hardest thing to deal with, and nobody's dealing with it. So that's why us as men, we kind of clam up and we don't really say anything. But it's kind of like I was just talking about shooting the breeze. Why we're coming back. Guys just need to start talking and getting it out. Because if you get it out and you have something that's been just wearing on you, and it doesn't even have to be with that person that you're talking. You just have to say stuff out loud because there are times in life. I saw a metaphor uh, on one of these self-help TikTok pages or something like or whatever. But kind of like stress and stuff like that for a man is kind of like a big backpack that you start out with when you're young, and you just go through life with this backpack on. And backpack eventually, hey, wow, this backpack's getting a little heavy, but you know what though? I'm gonna keep pushing. I'll keep that backpack on. So we keep the backpack on and we keep motioning through life, we keep going through. And the backpack is really at its lightest for me anyway. My backpack was at its lightest, but it was still filling when I was in the beginning stages of being a parent when Aiden and Jack were born. The the reason being is those are the 2 days of my life that I could pinpoint that will never ever be taken away as the greatest day of my entire life. The minute I set eyes on Aiden and Jack, because that at that point completely changed my outlook on life. It's not all about me anymore. It's not all about me and Shannon anymore. It's all about these two wonderful children that are 19 and 16 right now, and I'm super duper proud of them. On another episode, we're going to go through that. I know Josh wants to talk a lot about what's going on in the community, so we could all talk about those stories. But I'm super proud of Aiden, who's 19, and I'm super proud of Jack, who's 16, going on 17 in March. And that maybe that is, I think, the reason why your backpack keeps filling up through life. Back to the backpack metaphor, and then as the kids get older, it's like all of a sudden, like, and you kind of have time to sit back and think about decisions that you've made in your life, think about how you approach certain people or how about you did certain things. Again, it's not, it's all led you to that path where you are right then. So I'm not saying that talking about stuff and getting it out, it means like, oh, it's all good. But I truly believe that no matter what your path is and the person that you become at a certain point, all that stuff had to happen to you. All of it did. And back to the backpack. I'll get rid of the backpack reference in a second because at some point I realized, in the last like year and a half that my backpack was heavy, 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 heavy. And a lot of, because you're in that, you're in that rush, that hustle bustle of being a parent. And it's the best thing, you're running around, coaching baseball, picking them up at school, dropping them off at kindergarten. This one's got to go here. That one's got to go there. Family vacations in Long Beach Island. Oh, Long Beach Island. We want to go this year. We'll go to Charlestown, Rhode Island. Always doing something with the family, making sure that they had all their needs, which is our job, and making sure that we raise, like my job as a man is to raise two amazing young men. And that is really, at the end of the day, I am most proud of as a father, is raising two men with their own opinions, raising two men who are starting their way in life right now. And I look at them, and me and my wife had a direct effect on how they feel. Now they're starting to make their own decisions. And like I keep saying, I'm super proud of them. But that as a father, there's nothing in this world more satisfying, better than the Super Bowl, or whatever your pinnacle of greatness is, seeing your children succeed and having them love you and hug you every day is better than anything. No matter what your monetary situation is, life, no matter what your situation is in life, that bond as a parent and a child, and if it's still strong through so much and is an unbreakable bond there, those kids are going to succeed. Whether it be a single parent, whether it be a death in the family, whether it be just a parent being there. And for boys, and again, I'm a male, so I can speak from a perspective of being a father. It is so, so, so important for you guys to be there for every single thing your son is going through, whether it be his graduation from sixth grade, or whether it be the first time he tries out for a baseball team and he doesn't make it, or the first time he says to you is like, Dad, he says, I want to be a chef. Or the first time he says to you, Dad, I want to play baseball too. Or Dad, you know what? I don't want to play baseball anymore. I want to play soccer. Uh, Trials and tribulations with school, making them know that school's important. This is all stuff we have to be there for. And the good stuff, the bad stuff, whatever it may be, teach your kid how to fight. It sounds crazy. It really does sound insane. But men, teach your kids how to fight. And I don't mean fight in the physical. Sometimes you gotta you gotta teach your kids how to throw a punch. But I'm talking just fight to be who they are, not to get caught up in, I come from this, so that's what I must be. Give your kid the reign to become who he is, and you influencing that and watching that person become that good person. That's where the parent is happy. But the kid, you got to be there for everything, and they will appreciate it. That bond of a father and son, and I can't talk from a mother and son. I know a mother and son bond is super, super important. It's the best relationship there is. There's no bond more than a mother and their child. My wife has a relationship with our two boys upstairs, and they still, at 19 years old, they still hug her. They jump in her lap. They kiss her. They say how much they love her. And it's like, again, I look at her sometimes and I'm like, babe, look, we did it. That was pretty cool, right? And then we smile. It's like, look, we're a married couple, man. We have our differences. We've been together a long time. I love my wife with all my heart. We have our ups and downs. We have our differences. We're in a good place, bad place, but we always find our way. And that's what we do. We find our way because you know why? We love each other. And we turn around and we say, look at what we did. And to me, that's everything. And I might sound, like I don't know if the proper is a cynic or, I just think that if the times are taken, and all my friends in my neighborhood, all my friends I associate with, all the men I associate with this in my neighborhood, they're all great men because you look at these kids and they're all good kids. We don't really surround ourselves with, when you don't really surround yourself with somebody who you don't think that they're being a good dad, or because you would just kind of like come across a person like that because you wouldn't take the time to befriend somebody, or because if it was your friend, you'd call them out on it. But, it's just observations, how about the different types of people there are. And believe me, everybody out there are different types of men. There really are. And at the end of the day, it's all a matter of like, if you want to talk to that guy, you don't want to talk to that guy. So the whole thing with the kids and the backpack and everything is pretty much the reason why we are trying to bring Shootin the Breeze back, because Josh, listen, he's fantastic at this, and I think that we do really well together. And I feel that there's nothing off topic here, guys. That's one more thing I wanted to tell you guys. There is nothing off topic. When I say nothing's off topic, is if I'm just know from talking to some people throughout the holidays, and I got a guy in particular that I need to contact too, but there are guys going through some shit right now. But you know what? That's the guy at the party that's hanging out, dancing, doing karaoke, or the guy running in the street, or the guy riding his bike, or driving his car really fast, or the guy at the gym lifting 50 pounds more than he normally lifts because he's got a lot of shit going on. So all that stuff gets internalized as a man. In the metaphor of the backpack, I think you guys just take a look and look in your backpack and see if there's stuff that's got to go. Because when you get too old, I'm 51 years old, about to be 52 in May. A lot of bricks had to go out of that backpack in order for me to start going forward. Because, at the end of the day, I've been seeing doctors, seeing therapists. I'm out there. I don't care what anybody sees me or whatever. But no, therapy works. Therapy is good. I'm trying to see another therapist now. I'm riddled with adult ADHD, and that has put a lot of strain on some of my relationships through life. I want to say the one relationship, is I'll talk about my wife in a second, but Josh, that's the reason. That's the reason, Josh. You know what? You want to hear it? Hear it right now. Is because that I'm always thinking about the other thing, and I'm always thinking that I'm not. Who wants to hang out with me? Like, I'm not a cool dude. Like, why would these guys want to hang out with me? Why would Josh want to talk to me? Is like something is really, 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 really important until it's not, and it's on to the next thing, and then it's like, wait, who's supposed to do this? I'm like, oh man, I'm not even there yet. My brain's not involved. It's like I have to find some way as an adult male with this just to focus. I've been exploring different options. Supplements from GNC, and trying to eat better. Your diet. My stomach's feeling a little better. Unfortunately, I'm laying up with a stupid foot now, but that's all going to be taken care of. But that's one of the relationship that where my ADHD kind of kicked in, and throughout the years, it's just been friends in general, man. Like I have one friend in particular, and who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention your name, but we were I hope we are still close, but we were tight for 12 years. We saw each other every single day. And I want to have that conversation with him, and I will, but again, it's just my own thing. But that's a relationship that I just blindsided because I had a lot of stuff going on at that time, man. My brain was ready to absolutely explode. And at that time, I didn't want to tell anybody about what was going on in my own head because I don't want to I don't want to burden anybody with the fact that my doors are open in my brain and my head's going to explode and I have to talk to somebody. But if I talk to somebody, they're going to they're going to think I'm weak, or they're going to think this or they think that. So I sabotaged, I would say. I hope I didn't sabotage it completely, but I sabotaged the relationship with somebody who was my best friend for every day for 12 years. We worked together, we saw each other. And that's every day, man. And I sabotaged the relationship all because I did not want to burden my problems with somebody else who could be going through their own shit. Now, the reason why I say it like that is because, hold on one second. The reason why I say it like that is that I sabotaged it is, because that's the person I would drop all that stuff on. That person I would call up and be like, oh man, I'm feeling like this today. That's the person I would show up at 6:30 drinking my coffee. What's the matter? Oh, this today. This is the person that would, text me or be in a group chat and be like, what the fuck? How come you don't get in a group chat anymore? It's like this. That's the person I would drop all that stuff on, man. And we have to have that person as a man just to drop stuff on. Unfortunately, listen, some men have bricks in their backpack that we don't know about, but you know what? Sometimes we have to be a bigger man sometimes if we know somebody's got too many, and take a couple of those bricks and put those bricks in our backpack for a couple of minutes and say, dude, come on, what's going on? I could help you with that. And not say, I'm good. I'm fine, man. I'm fine and good. Those are two words, but those are words that just like, it like relax to a woman from you is a trigger word. Fine and good. I'm good or I'm fine are trigger words when it comes to men. With if you know somebody that's constantly telling you that they're good, they're normally not good. I'm just telling you that from experience, man, because I spoke about this on past podcasts, Shootin the Breeze, that I said within maybe a year ago, probably, I finally, for the first time in my life, and I wasn't good for a while in my brain. And for the first time in my life, my wife looked at me and my head was going crazy. She looked at me dead in my eyes and says, Richie, are you okay? And without hesitation, I turned around and I had a tear in my eye, admittingly, and I said, "No, Shannon, I am not good." And she picked up on that. And I guess it felt good. It felt good to say it to my wife because when I talk about the sabotage of relationships, that's the relationship that my wife is the strongest person I know, the strongest person I know. And the reason why I say this is because she puts up with me. I mean, she tries hard, and I started doing a little dive on the adult version of ADHD, and it's got to be one of them here: forgetfulness, restlessness. It says here, extreme impatience, taking risks, interrupting mood swings, inability to deal with stress, blurting out responses. Well, I'll get to that in a second, but my wife is the strongest person I know because at the end of the day, she deals with me and my craziness that I'm trying to deal with myself because I'm fine. But when I said that to her, I realized that a lot of the arguments and a lot of the stuff and a lot of bad stuff I said to her over the years is a if I call it learned, I don't know. It could be adapted. It could be just something that I just didn't realize. But there are times when I would say stuff like, perfect example, I guess I've read somewhere that somebody with ADHD is like a grenade thrower. Now, what I mean by a grenade thrower is you could go into a war with your guns and shoot back and forth, but a grenade thrower goes in, they throw a grenade, everything's destroyed. They look in, they turn around, and they're like, "Whoa, what's the matter? Everybody okay?" It's like you just went in there and just went nuts on everybody, yelled and screamed for about 20 minutes, and now just you're calm. Now what's going on? What's everybody what's everybody looking at me for? And it's something that we have to be cognizant about because there's a lot of times that you go in there and you throw that grenade, and there's a lot of feelings being hurt in that grenade, and people are sometimes a victim of that. And that's one of my bad flaws or symptoms, I guess you would say, of the ADHD factor, being that I've been doing that to my wife for years, and she did not deserve any of it. Now, listen, Shannon's going to see this, and you do have some of your little things too, and I'm not going to. But it is at the end of the day, it's me because when I sat down and I realized that backpack was so heavy, I realized that there's a lot of stuff I needed to unpack. And before you start sitting down actually and unpacking that entire backpack, it's like you got to really do a kind of a self reflection on yourself and realize that, listen, in your life, you've made some bad decisions. I'm just literally me talking in a mirror. In your life, you've made some bad decisions. In your life, you made some great decisions. In your life, you've helped people. In your life, you've hurt people. You know, it's what happens to you. And when you show up at a place where you can be the best person you could be with maybe dealing with a ton of adversity when you were young, or maybe you're dealing with some kind of you know bad stuff that happened to you as a kid. I'm not saying me. I'm just talking about people in general are dealing with their own stuff. But to be able to internalize that and keep it and not get it out, or be able to get it out. And every man needs that friend that could tell you what the fuck is wrong with you and be able to take a punch from you if you feel he's out of line. And that other man has to say, I know you're dealing with shit right now, dude. What the fuck are you doing? And grab you. And every man needs that friend. And I don't know. Because women understand you to a T. I just said to you that, a lot of my issues with myself almost sabotaged my marriage, a bunch of times, bunch of times. Stuff's good now. I'm not coming on here to whine and complain about, oh, my marriage. No, my marriage is good. Me and my wife are good. We're good people. We're good parents. We love each other. We're husband and wife. And we're a husband and wife that went through our shit like everybody else out there. They're going through their own shit. I'm trying to get her to do something like this with me. Maybe she'll get here one day, but I'm trying to get her to sit next to me. And I think me and her should do something like, we pick a silly discussion that we had where it erupted into a fight, and we kind of bring it to here, and we just kind of joke about, because listen, my wife's funny. My wife could talk, and she's very funny, and she's very smart, and she's a fucking wise ass, and I love her. I think she'd be amazing. But I think a lot of women out there would look at her and be like, wow, I feel like that sometimes. My wife just happens to be a very outspoken person, and that's amazing. I love her for it. That's how she does it. She happens to be a very outspoken person, but there's nobody in this entire world that has a bigger heart than her. And I'm saying that from experience because I put my wife through a lot of shit in the last couple months, maybe about a year, and unknowingly a lot of stuff that I was, throughout the year, just mental stuff. I'm not, I never punched her in the face, or I never, nothing like that. I'm not that guy. But just because you're not that guy doesn't mean that you didn't do damage, and damage that you didn't know about. So I think that this bringing the Shootin the Breeze back is definitely gonna be able to have me start talking more about stuff, because Josh is one of the easiest persons to talk to, and getting it out there and talking about it. And I'm full disclosure with my feelings, man. Like, so I'm a little pissed at, about my foot now, but I just know I'll be off my feet for 2 weeks. I got to go back to work, and I got to plug through, man. Like, if the foot gets better, that's gonna also help with the upness. But listen, I'm doing all right. But there are days when I'm not doing all right, and something like that happens, man. It's just another setback. It's another 2 weeks that I can't work. It's another 2 weeks that I can't put into my benefits where I could retire. 2 weeks off. I know it's 2 weeks, but it comes from a place where there are times when you look at a symptom of a male's with adult ADHD. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, it doesn't matter why they're not doing it. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, they think about all the horrible shit that can happen because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And in actuality, you should kind of kick back, and what you're supposed to be doing at that moment is getting better. And you're not. You're dwelling. You're making stuff up in your own head. You're making up scenarios which lead you to breaks from relationships, which lead you to, I'll get to that another day, which leads to the whole craziness of arguing for no reason, always having to be that guy. You know, I am the perfect example of a guy with ADHD as an adult male, that when I go into a room, I'll talk to everybody. I'm on fire. Bam. I love talking to people. I love hearing about your trip to Hawaii, or I love hearing about your new job. I love hearing about the new car you got. Oh, you're into sports? I could talk to you all night. My wife's dragging me away from a guy I've never met my entire life, but he turned around and said he likes the Mets. So you know what, though? Boom. We had a 3 hour. I love talking to people. There's that time when I'm in my own head and I'm off to the side, and I just kind of don't want to be that guy. And that's when I kind of come off as kind of, I guess maybe abrupt, or if I come off as like a dick, maybe. Yeah, probably a dick, short answers. Because feeling that you have to keep that up, that high, up all the time, walking into a room, oh, here comes Rich. He's got to be that guy. Hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. It's gonna sound funny, and I don't want anybody to feel sorry for it or anything, but it's taxing sometimes. It's taxing when you don't want to talk about the Mets, because it's taxing when you don't want to talk about, the vacation you went on a couple weeks ago. It's taxing sometimes when you don't want to talk to somebody about that. So you kind of not clam up, but you kind of just give them this come off like, you know what? That's, I guess, like a dick. And I'm not saying it's an apology, and it might be a defense mechanism. I'm not, it's just the way people are. You don't know what people are dealing with. Like, I'm the guy that's always talking. That's me. That is me. That's the guy. I want to talk to you all night. I want to know about you. That's why I do this podcast. I love talking to people, but I shut people out sometimes. I shut friends out. I shut family out. I shut people out of my life sometimes, because at the end of the day, it's me. It's all on me, and it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. And then I shut people out. And I don't realize that when I shut people out like that, gone. I don't realize how they're feeling on the other end. I just know that I don't have to deal with that relationship at that moment. So that's one less thing that has to go on up here. And again, that's me. That's the way I do things. That's the way I handle it. And it's changing. It's changing, changing, changing. And I'm going to go back to my wife, Shannon, for a second. We have our issues. We have our fights. We have whatever. But you are there for me in a pinch, no matter what. And I know that because, again, all the stuff that I put you through. We can laugh about this, but you're the strongest person I know, babe. And be able to deal with this craziness. And I am working hard on myself. And guys, it's not. I'm just talking. I'm just talking off the cuff here. I'm just talking about a year's worth of stuff, and kind of in like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I'm really just talking about a year's worth of stuff. Like everything's, we're good. Everything's good. I'm working. We're working on myself. I'm working on stuff. Like it's fine. But know that you have to want that, because if you don't want that, your brain just goes off on all other different directions. Be like, you know what? It's like, I don't want to be married. I don't want that girlfriend. Some guys even have the fucking balls, and those are the guys that should be dead. I don't want to be a dad. I'm just gonna walk away. Those are the guys that really, those are the guys that are guys over here. That's where the division is. Have your shit, but what's the reason why a man will walk away from there? I don't know what the reasoning is. I wish I could. I'm not dispersing anything. I'm just letting you know how I feel and my opinion about what that person is if they do walk out on their child as a father. Because we all know, guys, as I went on a soliloquy about 15 minutes ago, a dad to a son or daughter is a very, very, very important relationship. And to walk away from that, that's kind of not a cool thing to do. And again, I surround myself with all these guys that are great dads, and I'm trying to get them involved in this too, man, because I think this whole men's mental health thing, June is Men's Mental Health Month. I guess they have a month for that too. The whole this month, that month, this month, it just shows to me that, we worry about so many other things and not the things that we should be worrying about. Like, why are we worried about what's, there's a lot of issues in this country. I don't want to go off on a tangent about that. There's a lot of issues in the world. There's a lot of issues, but you have to make sure we're all right as human beings. We got to be nicer to people. We got to, we have to band together. And I'm serious. We have to band together more as Americans too. And I was talking to Alex Raybar the other night about it, and he was ranting about it, and he's right, man. We have to band more together as Americans. And listen, everybody's again has their issues, but nothing is away from a conversation. And that's another thing Shannon always says. Shannon always says that everything is worth a conversation. And she's right. If you want to talk about something, listen, I'm putting myself out there right now, guys. Anybody that sees this video, if you guys know me, you're going through your own shit right now. Email me, call me. Maybe we'll get on this one night and we'll talk about it. I think I have somebody coming on tomorrow night who's going to be a very entertaining guest. And we're going to chop up some shit. I think me and Josh might pop on for a couple minutes later on just to introduce him back into the mix. And me and him are going to try and figure out men's mental health in Dutchess County with a little humor, a little seriousness, some stories, and this is it. We're going to try and promote this, guys, because I'm just talking to my friends and listening to people in the community and reading articles. And I am on this Facebook page called a guy was a baseball coach in this area. And he kind of screwed me and my friends out a little bit of money. I'm not going to lie, but nothing compared to what this guy is doing. Now, his Facebook page called The Spiraling of SRO. Now, if anybody's listening to this and knows what I'm talking about, it's Steve Orifice. Now, Steve Orifice, I talked about him a couple of weeks ago. At the end of the day, he just screwed me and my friends out of some money with tournaments and the promise of this, that, and the other thing. But in actuality, I don't know what he was doing with the money because I'm not a money guy, but you could ask one of my friends who's the money guy, and he could break it down exactly what he was doing with the money. But I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just listening to what people are saying. This guy has made his way over to Texas, and he's ruffling a few feathers over in Texas as well. So there's a conglomerate of people across the country that this guy is either screwed monetarily, maybe said some stuff that maybe he shouldn't have said. I don't know. There's some stuff going on with this guy, Steve Orifice, and he does a podcast, and I'll promote his podcast. It's called the SRO Business Podcast. Now, I'm trying to, listen, I comment on his stuff. I mean, I don't send him nice comments, so maybe that's why he blocks me, but I just instantly see my comments are deleted. And now this guy is a social media psycho. It's all over the place. Again, his name is Steve Orifice. I don't know if I have any of my baseball friends listening right now, but this guy's a psycho. He's a complete psycho. And there is a little group chat that I told you about before about how men have a little group chat going on with, I'm not going to say who it's with, but me and 1, 2, 3 of my really good buddies are in a really tight-knit group chat there. And we track this man's progress as per se. And look, None of us are in our 30s. Some of them are in their 40s and above 50. So, watching this, all unfold is kind of interesting, just to see another man kind of like, kind of make a mockery of what it is to be a man. And he's doing this right in front of our eyes. And it doesn't even make me mad. It just makes me sad that there's a guy out there that's really not setting a good example for somebody. And this is him. There'll be more about it. The Facebook page is called the Spiraling of Stephen R. Orifice. And somebody put that page together, and you got to see this. I mean, you can spend like a day if you have, whatever, just looking at some of the comments and the stories, and it's baffling what this guy just does. Like, he's just one of those guys. He's one of those guys that I think that is just programmed to just muddle through everything, because he says he's a good speaker. He got these speaking engagements, all these jobs, and he's just getting bashed by people, and he just reappears somewhere else. Now that leads me to believe that what's going on in some of these companies that's hiring this guy. This guy he leaves a trail of destruction from New York to wherever he stopped in the middle to all I know is Texas. It won't be long before he leaves Texas. Now, he totes on his website and his pages that he's found God. He's a church guy. God's going to figure it out. God's going to do this. God's going to do that. But listen, if God's who he says he is, man, God's a little pissed at you too, bro. So I don't know what's going to happen, So that's a whole other topic. And I reached out to the person that runs that Facebook page, and I asked her if we could kind of make this maybe a little public on Facebook page. And I bet there's a lot of people out there that would like to come on and discuss some of their dealings with Mr. Stephen Orifice. But I wanted to spend too much time on that at Bonehead. But there we go, 36 minutes. I hope I entertained you guys for 36 minutes. But yeah, not tonight. This week, Josh is Shoe, I am Murph, and we are Shootin the Breeze. The same logo. Look up Shootin the Breeze. We're going to get the Facebook page back up. We're going to get the Instagram, the TikTok page back up. This is all live, done on an app called StreamYard. Now, if you guys ever want to be a part of this, whenever we're going to go live, there's a link that you copy and paste right into your browser or right into your phone if you download the app to StreamYard, and it'll pop up instantly on our board, and we'll bring you up on a video. Anything you guys want to talk about, anything. You guys are going through some real serious shit. I want someone to maybe give you a little comic twist, or maybe I'm going through the same thing and I could give you some advice, or maybe you could give me some advice, because that's what me and Josh do. So if you guys are going through something, dude, holiday season's over, man. You made it through. I don't know what's going on with you. If anybody's out there that was feeling it, the holidays, I was super duper happy. I had a great holiday. But I know there's people out there, the holidays are a rough time, and you're watching this right now. You guys got my number, my email. Call me up. We'll chop it up a little bit. But other than that, Shootin the Breeze is back. I'm going to put this out on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, and come check us out, man. Because in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try and do a lot with this, because I'm going back to work. So I'm going to try and get it up and running where it starts running itself. And I know Josh is very handy with all the technical stuff, so I'm sure he'll be doing the same. So, all right, guys, this is Shootin the Breeze, and I will see you when I see you. Later.